All right, what if I told you that one of the most powerful tools for fat loss isn't some crazy high-intensity workout or a complicated diet, but just the simple act of walking? I know, it sounds almost too good to be true, but today we're going to unpack the surprising science behind it, and I'll show you how walking does so much more than just burn calories. It can literally reset your body's entire internal system.
So, here's the game plan. First, we'll dive into the why, the actual science behind what makes walking so darn effective. Then, I'm going to give you the exact blueprint to turn your walks into fat-burning sessions. We'll even settle that fasted versus fed debate once and for all. After that, we'll map out a realistic timeline for you, and finally, I'll give you the tools to bust through any plateau you might hit.
All right, part one, let's get into the mechanics. Because honestly, when you understand why this works, it makes it so much easier to stick with it. This isn't just about moving your legs, it's about flipping some powerful switches inside your body. The first thing we need to do is change how we think about walking. It's not just exercise. Think of it more like a therapeutic intervention. That sounds serious, I know, but it's true. It's a process that recalibrates your whole system, shifting it from a state that loves to store fat to one that is primed and ready to burn it.
So how does it pull this off? Well, it happens through three massive physiological shifts. First, you get a total cardiovascular upgrade. Your heart gets stronger, circulation improves. Basically, your body gets way better at using oxygen, which is essential for burning fat. Second, and this is a big one, you get metabolic switching. Your body literally learns to prefer burning your stored body fat instead of sugar for fuel. And third, you get a complete hormonal rebalancing. And out of all those hormonal changes, there's one that's an absolute game changer. Walking lowers cortisol. You know, the stress hormone. See, when cortisol is chronically high, it's a disaster for fat loss. It screams at your body to store belly fat and can even break down muscle. A nice, brisk walk is one of the best ways to fight that.
And here's the magic word for all of this: lipolysis. It's just the fancy scientific term for your body breaking down stored fat and releasing it to be used as energy. The best part? You don't have to guess how to make this happen. Walking in the right zone, in that sweet spot, it flips the lipolysis switch right on.
Okay, so we've covered the why. Now for the fun part, the how. This is your step-by-step, no guesswork guide to making every single walk a fat-burning mission. It all starts with your pace. We're not talking about a slow, leisurely stroll through the park. We're aiming for a target speed of about 5 to 6 kilometers per hour. This is what we call brisk walking. It's that perfect pace where you feel like you're moving with purpose, but you're not about to break into a full-on jog. That speed gets your heart rate into a very specific zone, 60 to 70% of your maximum. You've probably heard of this. It's called Zone 2, and it's famous for a reason. It's the scientifically proven sweet spot where your body says, you know what, I'm gonna burn body fat for fuel right now. So you're probably asking, okay, how do I find my Zone 2? It's so much easier than you think. A really good estimate is to just take the number 220 and subtract your age. So if you're 35, your max heart rate is around 185. Then you just find 60 and 70% of that number. So for our 35-year-old, the target is right between 111 and 130 beats per minute. Boom, that's your zone. And hey, you don't even need a fancy watch for this. You have a built-in intensity meter called the talk test. It's brilliant. If you can easily sing a song, you're going a bit too slow. If you're huffing and puffing and can only get a few words out, you're pushing too hard. But if you can hold a full conversation without gasping for air, bingo, you are right in the middle of Zone 2. It's that simple. Now for the last piece of the puzzle, consistency. For duration, we're aiming for 30 to 60 minutes. It takes a little while for your body to really ramp up its fat-burning engines. And for frequency, the goal is 5 to 6 days a week. It's this consistency that really adds up and creates those amazing results over time. Okay, let's wade into one of the biggest debates out there. Should you walk on an empty stomach or after you've eaten? People get really worked up about this, so let's just cut through the confusion.
So let's just look at the raw science. When you're fasted, like first thing in the morning, your insulin levels are super low. This makes it really easy for your body to tap into your stored body fat. But after you eat, your insulin goes up and your body naturally wants to burn the fuel you just gated. So, fasted is better, right? Case closed? Well, not exactly.
Here's the thing. Even though you might burn slightly more fat during a fasted walk, the expert recommendation is actually crystal clear. For a beginner, walking in a fed state after you've eaten is the way to go.
And the reason has less to do with biochemistry and more to do with, well, being human. It really comes down to this idea of signal versus noise. The big, loud signal that drives fat loss is your overall calorie intake for the day and the fact that you're consistently getting out there and walking. That's what really matters. The noise, that's the tiny detail of meal timing. For someone just starting out, having some fuel in the tank makes the walk feel better, makes you stronger, and makes you way more likely to do it again tomorrow. And that is the real secret. All right, you have the science, you have the plan. So what can you actually expect to see and feel? Let's walk through a realistic timeline, because this is all about sustainable, life-changing progress, not some overnight fix. And I want you to look closely at this timeline. It's not just about the numbers on the scale. In month 1, the biggest wins are things you feel. More energy, sleeping better, just getting the habit down. Then by month 2, you start to see it. Your waistline changes. Month 3, your clothes are looser, your confidence is up. See? Progress is so much more than just a number. Now, there is a catch, and it's a big one. This beautiful timeline only works if you follow 2 non-negotiable rules. First, you have to be in a consistent calorie deficit. Walking is a fantastic tool to help create that deficit, but your nutrition is the foundation. And second, you need to eat enough protein. And notice it says based on your target weight. This is so important to make sure you're losing fat, not your hard-earned muscle. And for our final part, we need to talk about something everyone faces: the plateau. That moment when your progress just stops. It's going to happen, it's totally normal, and it does not mean you failed. Let's look at how to smash right through it. So, picture this. You've been doing great, seeing awesome results, and then crickets. The scale just stops moving. It can be super frustrating, right? You feel like you're doing everything right, but nothing's happening. So what's the move? First, we have to completely reframe what a plateau is. It is not a sign that you failed. It's actually a sign of success. Seriously, it means your body has gotten so good and so efficient at the challenge you've been giving it, it adapted perfectly. So your job now is just to give it a new, slightly tougher challenge to think about. And here is your toolkit for doing just that. The concept is called progressive overload. It's simple. You can add intensity, walk a little faster, or find some hills. You can add volume, go from 45 minutes to 60. You can even add load with something like a weighted vest. Or you can just mix it up with some intervals. Just pick one, introduce that new challenge, and you'll kickstart your progress all over again. And there you have it. The science of why it works, the exact blueprint of how to do it, what to expect along the way, and the strategy for when things get tough. The entire plan is laid out for you. All the guesswork is gone. So really, there's only one question left. When are you going to take that first step?